I'm Chris Mills of surfstrengthcoach.com. We're going to go through just a quick video analysis of Slater doing his thing and a couple keynotes of things you should start paying attention to if you're having difficulties with your pop-ups. I do need to preface that I'm going to probably use terminology that may or may not make sense to you because it is directly coming from the Perfect Pop-Up program. And in that program, we talk about the theory of the movement, the skill of the movement, and then the fundamentals of does your body have the movement capacity to move like that. So we're about to look at Slater. It's a motor pattern. He doesn't even have to think about popping up. He's done it thousands and thousands of times. So it is a very fluid, effortless, and easy movement, right? It just fires off. But he also has the underlying movement capacity to do that pop-up. So for people with issues, there could be a couple big technique flaws that there often are, which we're going to touch on in a minute. But especially for the older crew, sometimes the body's not moving. So if you're trying to do a skill, this motor pattern, a fluid pop-up that requires hips that move, knees that move, ankles that move, lower abdominal strength, hip flexor strength and power, a spine that can move. If any of those things are limited, you're limiting the skill. So in effectively improving a pop-up, you have to not only look at technique, which we're about to get into, but you also need to know if the body is fundamentally moving. Does it have the movement requirements? If not, that's what we get to in my Perfect Pop-Up program is improving your skill, the technique, the theory, the understanding, but then also the training and interventions to make sure your body moves because surfing is movement. So check out that program if you got issues. And now, let's check out the GOAT.
From France is thinking about making a move. He's already setting up the left. Split peak, sticking with Kelly. Wide open. Bonus section. Slater still traveling. Driving through an impossible section. Kelly makes it.
Let's get into it. The GOAT popping up. First thing that we notice, he's actually paying attention. He's reading the wave. Can't tell you, we've been running surf coaching trips for years now all over the world. How many intermediate surfers, they see a lump out the back, they turn around and they just start flailing towards land, just hoping that this lump magically coalesces into the perfect takeoff spot directly behind them. So he has been watching this wave come in, he's perceived it, he's recognized what positioning he's in, and then he's started to move, and he's still watching. Even there, paddling in, he's looking left and looking right, taking in information so he can make rational decisions. Versus, again, intermediate surfers, lower intermediate, they see a lump out the back, they turn and they start flailing. Now, nice arched position. This is really important not only for paddling, but for a pop-up. Being able to get into this extension position because it means you're already upright, and it's also appropriately weighting the surfboard. We get into that in some surf paddling technique tutorials in the Ocean Sports Academy, so that's not for this. But mind you, he's not flailing. He has watched where he needs to go, put himself into a good position, efficiently kicked, efficiently paddled, and he's gliding. Now, he has been looking in the direction that he wants to go, right? He will, as he starts to pop up, kind of look down towards the nose of the board, but he's more so looking down this way, just perceiving what the wave is doing, but he will immediately start looking down the line again. I can't tell you, again, this is from firsthand coaching experience, how many people do not look where they want to go. Probably what's going to start fixing a lot of people's issues with their pop-ups is eyes need to be looking down the line. Look where it's like riding a bicycle, right? You're growing up, you're learning how to ride a bicycle. You don't want to run into the mailbox. You keep looking at the mailbox and you drive into the mailbox. So you'll see looking where he wants to go, looking. He briefly brought his gaze just down here just to see what is going on immediately in front of him. This requires some wave familiarity. If you're surfing a wave that you've never ever surfed before, it's sometimes difficult to take the gaze off of what is directly in front of you and be looking down the line. It also depends on the type of wave. If it's a really fast barreling wave and you've got to see what's happening directly in front of you so you can react, if that whole bottom is just drawing off a sandbar, then things might happen a bit differently. But you'll watch, as soon as he gets, boom, eyes are back down the line. What we will often see, intermediate spectrum and below, they're staring where they don't want to go. This entire process, they would be looking straight at the beach, whereas they should be looking in the direction you want to go. If you're taking a left-hand turn, you're driving in traffic, you're cruising, I need to go left. Would I keep staring that way, or would I look in the direction that I want to turn, while also occasionally looking back over that direction to see what's happening, to gauge, am I in the right position to have an easy takeoff or to make an easy left-hand turn? So eyes up, head up, looking in the direction you want to go, efficient, calm paddling, boom. People will get into details of staggered hand positions and stuff. That will vary surfer to surfer. That will vary on body type. Yes, sometimes a staggered arm position does work a little bit better if you have really long femurs and stuff. But mind you, the biggest, most relevant thing here, eyes up. Looking in the direction you want to go. As soon as eyes and head go down, it's changing the mechanics of your torso. It's putting you almost into a downward facing dog. Whereas if you bring eyes up, head up, it's going to start bringing up the entire body up underneath that position. Okay. That brings us back to this whole eyes up and chest up posture into the wave. And this is where you start coming into spinal mobility. So again, that pyramid I referenced earlier in the video, skill works, sitting atop, performance, and then movement. Does your spine have the ability to be in this nice extension position? Or you've all seen them in the lineup, like I've sat at a computer for the last couple decades, my spine is exceptionally stiff, I can only raise my head up, I can't move my spine. If you're not able to get into this extended chest up position, you're really offsetting the mechanics of that entire pop-up process. So this eyes up, chest up, proud chest position, he's gone down just a little here to create a bit more momentum, or not momentum necessarily, but a bit of forward weighting. But you'll see as soon as he hits the glide, boom, chest up. If it's the same as looking down, if I can look up and lift my chest up, I've already started to orient my entire body upwards to bring my momentum upwards and forwards, rather than eyes down, chest down, because you can't move the spine. It's again, like you're almost doing this downward dog position, looking straight at the beach, not able to upright any of the torso. So you end up in this hunched over, bent at the waist kind of Pooh Man position. Eyes up, chest up, proud posture. That eyes up, chest up ability to move the spine is really relevant to a clean and efficient pop-up. And then immediately he's doing some hand stall here. Like he is putting hand into that, the wave to redirect and get that rail into the wave face, but arms are up. And I can't tell you how often people will just let those arms drag down and go gorilla armed. We'll see variations of this, especially if we're trying to change somebody's pop-up. We will talk about eyes up, arms up. And mind you, we're not even, he's doing a walk-up. It's not a pop-up. That, if you want the whole walk-up scenario, it's not this pop. It is a walk-up that is directionally forward-facing, kind of sprinting down the line. Momentum, I'm running this direction. Check out the perfect pop-up program. It is not this staggered back half of the body is pointed backwards. Watch one of my recent YouTube videos on pop-up skill and exercises or something like that. I'll post it or tag it. So eyes up, arms up, looking in the direction you want to go. He's not that normal pop, that thudding pop where the back half of the body is pointing the wrong direction backwards and it's super back foot heavy and front foot forward, right? Everything with Slater here is directionally going the way he wants to go, right? Forward. This is more of this sprinter athletic stance versus a crab, back half of the body backwards, back arm flailed backwards, forward arm going forwards, right? This is directionally momentum oriented, and it will all start with that initial, he's read the wave, he knows where he wants to go, eyes up, looking in the direction you want to go, and then it becomes a walk-up process, which again, see, it's staggered, back foot is hit. It's a walk-up process. It is not a thudding pop. Check out the perfect pop-up program if you want all the skills, the details, how we reorient that thing, because that can be a lot of motor learning that can or does need to take place for people. Eyes up, looking in the direction he wants to go. I keep hammering that because it is such a simple thing that people miss. Arms will come up. He's back arm. He's kind of hand stalling to redirect. Normally that back arm position would be forward, which he will in a moment. Boom. Back arm comes forward. So depending on the wave, if you're not hand stalling, that back arm needs to come up and directionally reach in the direction you want to go, versus a lot of people popping up and boom, back arm flails backwards. That is kind of basically putting you into poo man stance. And nobody likes to surf looking like they're taking a dump. So from here, you can see he's doing what Slater does. There, we can talk about details and technique here. The biggest thing, calm, efficient paddling, because he has read the wave. Nice extended posture. Again, like we get into a lot of spinal mobility drills in the Perfect Pop-Up program, because a lot of dudes over 30, 40, they've got really stiff spines and lack of hip range of motion, also lack of ankle range of motion, because those two things play a big role in, being able to look where you want to go, right? Don't look straight towards the beach, because you're going to go straight towards the beach. You need to build some familiarity and comfort with the wave you're surfing so that you can judge what is happening by looking at the wave in front of you, watching the draw. Look at the bottom of the wave and you'll know what the top's doing. Watch the draw of water off that sand or reef, and you can understand what you need to then do as you get to your feet. Do you need to race? Do you need to stall? Do you need to get barreled? What's the case? But get familiarity with the wave you're surfing so that you can trust the process and you can look in the direction you want to go. Eyes up, hands up, directionally forward. It all works out. Slater being the GOAT. I'm going to go look at one other quick video, and you'll have to excuse me. I don't know who this girl is. So if you do know, please let me know. I want to give her credit. People after they watch the GOAT, well, that's forehand. What about backhand? It doesn't work. YouTube commenters, social media commenters. What is she looking at? Is she looking straight towards the beach where she doesn't want to go and just ride into the flats? Or is she already looking down the line so she's able to perceive everything that's happening? Again, if you're looking down the line, you know what the wave's doing. How fast is it drawing off the reef? Is it going to fatten out? Is it going to barrel? Do I need to get to my feet and pump? Do I need to get to my feet and stall? What's going on? So, eyes up. Look at that good arched position. Back foot's already planted. Again, this walk-up process, refer to the Perfect Pop-Up program. I'm not going to get into the details here, but it is not this thudding hip pull. It is this walking up process. It is this staggered process, back foot, then front foot. Since she's going to pig dog, hands are going to stay on the board. Normally we say eyes up, arms up. Get those arms up. That can be really important, again, for this intermediate lower spectrum surfer, because it uprights the torso. So back arm staying there, because she needs to pig dog. She's driving this heel side rail into the wave, so she's lifting up, but she's directionally facing forward, right? This knee is going to be facing forward. The chest is going to start facing forward. Whereas again, a lot of intermediate surfers, they'd be looking this direction rather than where they want to go. Their chest would be facing the wrong direction, and the board reacts to your weight distribution. So whatever you're doing with your center of gravity, your body weight, your postures dictates what the board is doing. So that dictates how you ride the wave. Where is she looking? Everything directionally is where she wants to go. Obviously, you can see a need for hip mobility. You can see a need for ankle range of motion back here, knee range of motion, hip range of motion, spine mobility. So these things can get really difficult for individuals that have just sat at a desk for the last 20 years and wonder why their pig dog barrels are just eating shit, right? So, and then it's just a beautifully surfed wave. Like, this is beautiful pig dog surfing because chest is facing the direction you want to go. That's usually a big deficit for people backhand barrel riding. Leaning into the wave face, getting this knee to almost lean into the wave face, because that knee pulling out of the way can allow her torso to rotate a bit further and face directionally where she wants to go. But again, the biggest part of this pop-up here is starting with, do you have good spine range of motion to be chest up, right? See, it's not always leaning down, chin to board. That's a fallacy. I get into that again in surf theory, the surf theory and technique, surf paddling theory and technique in the Surf Athlete program. You can get that in the app. But eyes up, chest up. Everything comes underneath nice and fluidly, directionally where she wants to go. Continue looking. Body posture is all momentum generated down the line. And it's an epic wave. So good. So I hope you've gotten just probably the biggest takeaway for you is you need to start getting comfortable looking in the direction you want to go and paying attention to the wave. Take in the information, read it, just don't turn and then flail and then never look at the wave again, which is what we unfortunately often see. You need to calm down. You need to start grading your paddling. Grading mean I talk about gears again in the surf paddling theory and fundamentals course in the surf athlete program. I keep plugging my own work because it's legit if you want to dive deeper into it. He's paddling effectively, efficiently. There's no unnecessary flailing. Flailing starts throwing your board all over the place and actually slowing down. He's not just flailing, he's still looking, he's still perceiving, eyes up, head up, looking in the direction you want to go, walk up, directionally facing in, obviously, the direction you want to go, and then you surf. Cool? So if you dig it, let me know. I hope this was helpful. I've said it before. Check out the Perfect Pop-Up program if you want the process and techniques and theories and understanding. Look where you want to go. Get your body directionally facing where you want to go. Eyes up, arms up. Improve your surfing. Share this with somebody that kooks the pop-up. It's a frustrating thing. It's really frustrating. So it can improve. It just takes some awareness. We talk about the neurology of motor pattern development, where and what type of waves to start working on this, how to implement things in the water, because it can be frustrating. If you're looking into a wave and thinking, oh my God, this is scary, it's hard to then think about a new process and a new pattern of popping up. So you need to use kind of motor pattern development and the neurology behind things and fear and cognition and use that to your advantage of changing techniques in the surf. Like, subscribe, share the love on Instagram, surfstrengthcoach.com. Let me know if you love it. Peace.